Krzyzewski has led him to many arenas around the ACC. Tonight marks his final stop at Conte Forum in Chestnut Hill, where his 7th-ranked Blue Devils will take on BC. It's all coming up next on the ACC Network. We welcome you to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Subway. Oh yes, they'll be loud and proud inside Conte Forum today. The students are energized, and so is the rest of the Boston area. It's Duke against BC. Hi everybody, it's great to have you with us. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us. I'm Johnny DeParell with Malcolm Huckabee. Always special when Duke comes to town, Malcolm, and especially this year with Coach K's final game.
Yeah, final game, regular season game in Boston for Coach K. Electric atmosphere. This should be a fun environment this afternoon.
And we do know that Duke, a focal point for them lately has been Mark Williams. He is shooting 80% in his last 9 games.
And he's one of the premier shot blockers in college basketball. Leads the ACC with 3 blocks per game. That's going to be a key matchup for Boston College. On the other side, James Karnick. When Boston College has won their 4 conference games, there's been one common denominator. He has played well. 15 points a game, 72% from the floor. He must be big tonight for Boston College.
And BC, a distinct athleticism advantage for Duke. So that means BC's bigs are going to have to play big. No pun intended. But this man, Quentin Post, is not dressed due to COVID protocols. He is out. So that's a big loss for the Eagles.
Yeah, depth, obviously the size. I think that's a key thing. We talked about it, but Duke's got a pro at every position. They have great length. I think defensive rebounding for Boston College is going to be another key in this game.
And another key, too, to watch, there's only 2 officials. Jerry Heater is out for this one with flu-like symptoms, so it's Mark Schnurr and Jamie Lucky, 2 officials, usually 3.
Well, Jamie Lucky came over to us before the game and said, hey, we're down to 2. I had to take my mask. I was like, are you serious? He's like, no joke. It's just 2 of us. And certainly that is going to be something to watch. You know, obviously 2 veteran officials, but nonetheless, they're used to working in 3-man crews. So another, I guess, storyline to watch as this game progresses, and particularly with foul calls.
And right off the bat, 5 seconds in, there's some miscommunication between the officials. The shot clock is a question at the moment. It's down to 19, which is impossible. Mike Krzyzewski told us he has always enjoyed his visits to Boston. And the fans here, since tickets went on sale in the area, have been quite enthusiastic about purchasing these seats.
Well, and as they should be. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the best, if not the best, to do it in college basketball.
And there's a steal by Mark Williams, candidate for National Defensive Player of the Year. And a steal by Jaden Zachary the other way. Zachary was a stabilizing force against Syracuse in a loss, and James Karnick, part of our starting lineup for the Eagles, gives them their first 2.
All set up, beautiful transition offense that time. Jaden Zachary with the beautiful dump-off pass to Karnick.
The Duke starting 5, Paulo Banchero needs no introduction. He has been superb. Top 5 player in the country. A.J. Griffin is off the line, and the rebound for T.J. Bickerstaff. Here come the Eagles in the front court. DeMar Langford. His brother Mekhi Ashton Langford at the elbow, and BC's off to a 4-0 start.
Well, if you're Earl Grant, you cannot ask for a better start. These guys have come out with energy, and another storyline, Duke, 4 games in 8 days. Fatigue could be a factor in this one for Duke.
An overwhelming edge in most categories for Duke, but you just hit on a good one. Coach K was worried about the fatigue factor. Paulo Banchero at the elbow. You don't have to worry about his offense, averaging 17. He had 15 and 10 in their win on Thursday at Clemson.
Well, we have scouts all around this building, and you know, it's just impressive to watch his size. We talked with Coach K about his size. He's still adapting to the physical play of this game, but make no mistake about it, he has a NBA-ready type body.
Is there anything he doesn't do well in your estimation? Maybe the physical aspect of the game?
That, and along with he hasn't shot it as well. That could be a little freshman fatigue as well.
And a steal by the Eagles, their second of the game in the early going. Mekhi Ashton-Langford to his backcourt mate Jaden Zachary, who's a freshman from Salem, Wisconsin. Went to junior college last year. Mekhi Ashton-Langford, one of the most improved players in the ACC. The TJ Bickerstaff, the Drexel transfer. Waning stages of the shot clock. Karnick. And Banchero taps the rebound to Wendell Moore. Headman's a pass, but it's stolen for the third time. The second for Mekhi Ashton-Langford, and a foul in the front court as Mark Williams ran into Mekhi Ashton-Langford.
Well, the Boston College defense early on has produced some offense. Mekhi Ashton-Langford right here showing off the hops. That's just a heads-up play, and then he draws the foul on Mark Williams right here. Veteran play by Mekhi Ashton-Langford.
Langford up and under, no good. Bickerstaff, and out of bounds. Could not grab the loose ball rebound, but aggressive drive by Mekhi Ashton-Langford.
Well, that's the one thing, though, that Duke does. They're going to force you into contested shots. They have length at every position. When you drive, you're going to have to shoot over some length in the paint against Duke.
Get this, Malcolm. The Blue Devils averaging 80 points per game, 65 points per game allowed, and they shoot 48%, 37% from three. And now we have DeMar Langford going down as he ran into the defender, A.J. Griffin. Have to keep an eye on that. Wendell Moore, and the rebound for Bickerstaff. Brevin Galloway wearing the headband for the Eagles in the lineup. Transfer from College of Charleston, grad student. Karnick, the Lehigh transfer. Skips a pass for Zachary. Zachary averaging 9.5 points. Good pass, and the reverse lay-in for James Karnick.
Well, that's twice now they've been able to get into the paint. And that's twice that Karnick's been able to finish. This time, the up and under with the left. Good offense early by Boston College.
You know, Earl Grant told us before the game, he just wants the Eagles to have fun. Those of you just joining us on the ACC Network, welcome to Chestnut Hill and Connie Forum. Thank you, Wes Durham and Darren Bonner, calling a thriller. John Meter-Perrell with Malcolm Huckabee. Great to have you with us. Mekhi Ashton-Langford gets in the lane, leaves the layup short. And a tie-up. And a jump ball. So a good start for BC. They are energized at Chestnut Hill against the number 7 Blue Devils. We welcome you to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Subway. Mike Krzyzewski coaching his final game in Chestnut Hill, and BC off to the early 6-2 lead. Malcolm.
Transition off of a turnover by Duke. Heads up play by Jaden Zachary. Another turnover by Duke. This time Mekhi Ashton-Langford getting out in transition. Oh, that's going to be key for Boston College. Points in the paint. Very difficult to do against a good Duke defense.
Controlling tempo and keeping the pace of the game in their sights. Make Duke guard them. I think that's a prevailing theme whenever you're talking about an opponent against the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and when we spoke with Coach K the other day, fatigue. They're playing 4 games in 8 days. They didn't get into really late after their last game, and it was a tough game. So I think that's going to be something we watch as this game progresses.
Well, Duke can rely upon Trevor Keels, the man who just sunk the layup. He had 25 and 11 off their bench against Clemson. He tied his career high with 25 points. He has been fantastic. The drive by Langford and almost a slam, but he goes down hard. Here comes Duke with Wendell Moore to Banchero, and the power slam by Paolo Banchero. It got uneven for BC.
Yeah, that's what you can't do against Duke. Live ball turnovers, that is going to hurt you. That time they came up with a steal, then gave it right back up. Tough break for Boston College.
Did you like the decision by Ashton Langford, the attempted slam?
If you're going to go in there against Duke's length, that's the only way you're going to get it off.
Bickerstaff driving, cut off by Bencaro. Karnick to Zachary with 3 to shoot. Fake by Karnick. And it's a shot clock violation, another turnover, so the first media timeout effective for Duke. They make adjustments, and Paulo Bencaro slams it.
Yeah, right here again, tough break for Boston College, and Bencaro almost ripping off the rim on that one. And Jay, as you look at this Duke team, John, they have length at every position. Even the point guard, Trevor Keels, goes about 220. Earl Grant certainly concerned about defensive rebounding against this Duke team, who has a size advantage at every position.
And they bring in Theo John off their bench, number 12 for Duke in black as the weak side block. He gets the ball back, and a block again by TJ Bickerstaff, who's been active on the defensive end, but John started 87 games at Marquette before transferring.
Yeah, this is great team defense right here by Boston College. Karnick getting after it on the defensive glass. Good recovery by DeMar Langford, and Bickerstaff finishes off the play on the defensive end.
TJ Bickerstaff, 8 rebounds per game to lead BC. Inbounding is Wendell Moore, and it goes out of bounds. They'll reset with 9 to shoot. Earl Grant in his first year. Mike Krzyzewski's coached against 60 coaches in the ACC in 43 years. You can add Earl Grant to the list. And the hook by Theo John as Duke takes its first lead of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's huge for Duke. Theo John giving them some bench production. Nice little jump hook that time.
John with 3 points per game, 12 minutes per game. Jaden Zachary for Brevin Galloway. He will launch from anywhere. He's only made 3 of his last 36 three-pointers. Was 1 for 12 against Syracuse on Tuesday night. More good defense by the Blue Devils.
And this right here, great individual move by Theo John, spinning back over that left shoulder, and they'll take it if you're Duke. Theo John giving you some offensive production off the bench while Mark Williams rests.
In the post, Bencaro got hooked by Bickerstaff. Mark Schnurr calls the foul. That's the first on TJ Bickerstaff. And if you're just joining us, you'll notice only 2 officials. One official, Jerry Heater, is in the officials' locker room with flu-like symptoms. He is not going tonight. So it's just Jamie Luckey and Mark Schnurr.
Right before the game, Jamie Luckey came over to us, said there's only 2 of us. I thought he was joking. He's like, no, we're on our own tonight, and certainly something we will watch as this game progresses. Only 2 referees.
Wendell Moore for 3. Good to see him back on the floor after that brutal flagrant 2 foul by David Collins of Clemson on Thursday night. Collins suspended for 1 game, not playing against Notre Dame tonight. DeMar Langford was shaken up early, but he converts. Acrobatic baseline drive by DeMar Langford.
Great use of his body that time. Able to take the hit and then finish with some soft touch.
John fronts Justin Vanderbaan. Vanderbaan only appearing in his 7th game. He's a 7-footer. They're going to need him with Quentin Post down. He is not dressed due to COVID protocol. A 7-foot transfer from Mississippi State. Deliberate offense by the Eagles. Tight defense by Bencaro. Langford averages 10.5 points. He launches.
That time, Boston College getting late in the shot clock. They're going to need more of this right here, though. Don't settle for jumpers. DeMar Langford using his body well. That's great body control and that negated the length of Banchero that time going up for the block.
Coach Grant told us before the game he wants his players to have fun. You know what? Play it with reckless abandon. Let it rip, was his quote to me. It's all about the process. He's still, quote, not out of his valley, as he talks about a lot, trying to get out of that valley and build a culture at BC, the same type of culture you had when you played here. That's what he's trying to establish. Banchero from the baseline. He has such great form.
Yeah, he's come out aggressive in this game. Row of scouts here, and as they are at any Duke game, and he's just so talented. That's a 6'10" guy pulling up, going to his left. He's just a matchup nightmare when he is hitting jumpers.
Navigating the lane, Jaden Zachary stifling the 11-2 Duke run. Zachary with 15 against Syracuse on Tuesday. Oh man, Mark Williams going over the top of Vanderbaan on the lob attempt. And we will take a timeout. Duke relying upon Wendell Moore. This has happened all year. He's a volume scorer. They lead by 3. ACC Network Basketball is presented by Eat Fresh, Refresh at Subway. Thursday night, Little John Coliseum, Clemson, South Carolina. Wendell Moore Jr. with the steal, and then this happened. A brutal hit by David Collins, a flagrant 2 foul, running into Moore, a football-like tackle by Collins, and Coach K embraced him. The situation was nullified by Brad Brownell's handling of it. Coach K told that to us. He was very happy with that, how it was all neutralized eventually. The good news is Wendell Moore is playing, and he's recovered effectively.
And it could have been a lot worse, a very scary play. And Coach K, as you said, gave Brad Brownell a lot of credit for de-escalating that situation. We asked Coach K what he felt the punishment should have been. He said, look, I moved on as soon as Brad Brownell brought him over to half court to apologize. We're moving on. We're glad Wendell is fine, and we're ready to finish out the season.
And David Collins, as mentioned earlier, suspended for 1 game. DeMar Langford in front of the elbow. The turnaround. Karnick on Williams. The big fellas attacking each other. And that's not an easy guy to maneuver around. One of the top defenders in the nation, Mark Williams.
Yeah, leads the ACC, close to 4 blocks a game. That's great use again by the body by James Karnick, getting right into his chest and then getting that jump hook off.
Trevor Keels, a fadeaway. That is 2 points for Trevor Keels. Red hot for Duke as they build a 5-point lead. BC led early. Jaden Zachary to DeMar Langford. Karnick punched away for a moment. Karnick has 6 to lead the Eagles. Langford from the foul line. Good shot selection there?
That's good, but that's bothered though. Mark Williams, again, he's so long, you think you're open, and then he comes out of nowhere.
A.J. Griffin with a low dribble to Keels. Keels runs into traffic, and a 50-50 ball and a tie-up, says Mark Schnurr. Jump ball. Possession towards Duke.
And John, I spoke to a couple of NBA scouts prior to this game. This is what makes Mark Williams so special. He doesn't get credit for a block there, but you might as well give it to him. His ball screen coverage, not only his ability to slide with guards, but then to contest shots afterwards is what makes Duke a very good defensive team.
26th best prospect, according to our own Mike Schmitz from ESPN. Kai Ashton Langford, graduate student from Worcester, Mass, about a half hour west of Chestnut Hill. His brother DeMar Langford with it. Karnick, he has 8 points. A competent James Karnick, and that's good news for BC's offense.
Great pick and roll offense. That time, DeMar Langford with the nice little dump off pass to Karnick. Excellent offense. by Boston College.
Karnik at his season average of 8. Paulo Bencaro to Jeremy Roach for 3. Bickerstaff had it and then lost it. Good hustle. And it goes out of bounds. James Karnik capitalizing on the pick and roll.
Yeah, half-court offense has been pretty good for Boston College. That time, DeMar Langford, beautiful pass, and Karnik. We talked about the 4 wins that Boston College has in ACC play. There's been one common theme. Karnik has played well and shot the ball well. You look at his numbers in those wins, 72% from the floor.
She's shooting 47%. They've only taken 2 3-point attempts. They attempt 18 per game. And speaking of a 3 from the corner, A.J. Griffin, Coach K told us they want to space the floor better for him, make it more comfortable for him in the corners.
Unselfish basketball. Duke, one of the better assist teams in college. Extra pass, and A.J. Williams has been lights out from beyond the arc.
Griffin in his 10 starts averaging 9.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and a good pull up by DeMar Langford from the elbow. So BC's matching buckets, and that's a pleasant development for Earl Grant.
They are. They must, though, find A.J. Griffin on the perimeter defensively.
Kai Ashton Langford penetrates, drops it off for Karnik in the bucket. He's got it. James Karnik making a living with 10 points in the post. He had a rough night against Syracuse. The entire BC team did not shoot the ball well against the Orange. And the dribble drive is converted by Jeremy Roach. Quietly, Roach is putting together a good year. 2.8 assist turnover ratio. That's second in the conference behind Reese Beekman of Virginia. Kanye Jones off the BC bench as part of their guard rotation. And Karnik missed the bunny. Trevor Keels at the point. Tough matchup for Kanye Jones, the freshman from Orlando, hounding him. Bencaro thought about 3. And Roach with an offensive foul. Good defense by Makai Ashton Langford, who held his ground. And James Karnik and BC leading the way with 10 points as the Eagles trail by 4.
Boston College has ridden the hot hand of James Karnik. 10 points already in this game. Most of them in the paint off of some beautiful ball penetration. This time, Jaden Zachary in the lane, getting on it in the offensive glass. This is tough right here. Mark Williams, one of the premier shot blockers. Karnik doing a nice job getting into his chest and then shooting over him. They're going to have to continue to get more of that from Karnik, in particular with Quentin Post, the 7-footer for Boston College, out of the game today due to COVID protocol.
Pleasant development for the Eagles, 12 of their 18 points in the post. See if they can hang around and capitalize on that. DeMar Langford off the dribble, got the screen from Karnik, who pops out at the elbow. And the hook is good. James Karnik feasting on Duke, and Coach K was worried about BC's physicality. He's also worried about their toughness, he told us.
Well, I think the biggest thing is fatigue. Again, this is their 4th game in 8 days. I think they need to do this right here. Don't settle for jumpers. Get in the post and let guys like A.J. Griffin go to work on a matchup that's favorable for them.
He has many favorable matchups throughout the season. A.J. Griffin out of White Plains, New York. His father, Adrian, an assistant with the Toronto Raptors, played a few years with the Celtics, part of his 10-year NBA career. Kai Ashton Langford as the shot clock winds down. Zachary gets in the lane. But before that, a foul called by Mike Schnurr. Wednesday night after day one of the ACC Swim and Dive Championships, we'll have men's basketball. Armando Bacot and the Tar Heels host Pittsburgh at the Dean Smith Center. This one starts at 8 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Coach K, flanked by the associate head coach John Shire, who will replace Mike Krzyzewski next season. DeMar Langford to Gianni Thompson. Thompson, a freshman from Newton. And the shot blocked by Theo John with 3 to shoot. What happened on that offensive possession?
Well, that's just a great defensive play, individual play by Theo John right here, sliding his feet with the guard, DeMar Langford, and that's a great individual defensive play by Theo John.
Eagles will have to hurry. Mekhi Ashton-Langford. And the rebound for John. Like a blur, a vapor trail left by Wendell Moore Jr. who gets in the front court. Duke wants to control tempo. Trevor Keels, the screen by John. Keels doubled in the post. The defense by Zachary, who batted it out of bounds. Jaden Zachary, 6'2" freshman, has been active with 31 steals, first on the team.
Yeah, he's been aggressive on both sides right here. Great passing by Duke again, but recovery, team defense by Boston College, something that Earl Grant talked about. We need bodies in the paint whenever Duke gets in there.
Now Brevin Galloway getting set to check back in momentarily. Still waiting. Paulo Banchero, the 3. And Ashton Langford rips the rebound away, but now a foul. The feisty Mekhi Ashton Langford. 6'3" grad student.
Well, this is what you call team rebounding right here. Mekhi Ashton Langford, you have 3 Boston College defenders in there, all 3 going after the defensive rebound.
We have another great women's college basketball doubleheader on Thursday night on ACCN and the ESPN app. It starts with Pitt Miami at 6 Eastern, and a huge matchup for the second game between number 18 Notre Dame and number 11 Georgia Tech. Both are 9-3, trailing 12-1 NC State and 11-1 Louisville in the ACC. It should be a fantastic matchup. James Karnick with 12 points, 6 of 9 field goals. The rest of the team has 8, 4 of 12 shooting. And Galloway with a layup thanks to the dribble drive by Jaden Zachary.
Well, it's rare you see that. Right now, breakdowns by Duke, and Zachary has been in the lane, finding and setting up his teammates for some quality looks.
A bump by Keels and an offensive foul. Mark Schnurr says too much contact by Trevor Keels. Do you agree?
It looked like he was in a pretty decent position right there. But I think on the defensive end, this has been problematic for Duke early on. Dribble drives, getting into the lane, breaking down the Duke defense, and Zachary has been finding guys. I think offensively for Duke right now, they got to go back to just get some isolations. If you got Banchero in a favorable matchup, put him down low in the block and let him go to work.
Zachary dribbling around Jeremy Roach. Mekhi Ashton Langford from the elbow. And no. Justin Vanderbaan back in the game for the Eagles, 32 in white. He's going to have to play between 12 and 15 minutes, says Earl Grant, due to the absence of Quentin Post. Griffin drives. He is tenacious. That's what you're talking about. He always attacks the rack.
Grown man move right there. Again, that's just a guy that's going to be a high draft pick in the NBA, and raising up over, great body control, and then a beautiful finish over defense.
Hand off for Galloway. Mekhi Ashton Langford maneuvers. Somehow got the shot off. And here comes Wendell Moore. 3. No, left it short, A.J. Griffin. Here comes Ashton Langford again to his brother DeMar, and the N1. It's a 2-point ball game, and BC has a chance to cut it to 1 with the N1 opportunity coming up after this timeout. But check out the athleticism by DeMar Langford and the strong finish. BC playing well. NBA All-Star Jason Tatum sitting behind the Duke bench. Played for Duke 2016 and 17, and we knew he would be in the house today with the Celtics having a night off. And there's Brad Stevens, president of basketball operations for the Celtics, with his son, who is a terrific high school player at Wellesley High School just outside Boston, and both of them close with Mike Krzyzewski, who respects Brad Stevens very much. They have a nice relationship, and some anxious moments for Duke, perhaps a surprise, but you know what? I think you made a great point at the top of our broadcast. Fatigue might be a factor. 4 games in 8 days for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and they were tough games. Obviously, anytime you travel as much as Duke has over this last 8 to 9 day period, you get concerns, in particular with this young team. So Coach K talked about that. He said, look, I am concerned about fatigue on this last leg of our road trip.
Jason Tatum, oh, by the way, 29 games at Duke, 488 points. Not too shabby.
I could say that guy could flat out ball.
And he continues it with the Celtics. Roach into Banchero as they play a 2-man game. Theo John crashed the board. And Jamie Lucky says it's over the top. Theo John called for the foul.
Well, although they don't get the bucket here, I like that matchup. If you're Duke, Banchero has a clear size advantage. DeMar Langford, one of the better defenders in the ACC, but he's given up a lot of size to Banchero. I like that offense by Duke going to a favorable matchup.
Justin Vanderbond at the line. Mark Williams back in for Duke. He's been quiet. 71% shooter. Vanderbond 3 for 5 from the line, and still a 2-point Duke lead. Roach, the elbow. Williams, and the putback. He's gotten much faster, said associate coach John Shire.
Yeah, he's developed on both ends. Credit Coach K and their coaching staff. The work they've done with Mark Williams, for me, has been one of the most improved players in the ACC.
Langford the miss, and here comes Trevor Keels. Look out. Oh, good defense by Makai Ashton Langford. That was special, but they give it back. Jamie Lucky said Jaden Zachary grabbed the Duke offensive player, but this is terrific hustle.
Yeah, and this, if you're going to pull off the upset, you need this. This is twice now. Makai Ashton Langford, love his energy, coming up with steals, showing off his athleticism. And unfortunately, though, they gave it right back to Duke.
James Garnett back in the BC lineup. The block by Langford, but too much contact against Paulo Banchero. Rugged defense of the post by DeMar Langford. Height advantage and an athletic advantage for Banchero.
And Coach K, when we asked him about Paulo Banchero, his progress, he said, look, I want more physicality, less finesse for him. He said, look, the difficult part for him is he's so talented. He is a guy that's 6'10", pro body, and he is a guy that I think can do a lot of damage down low in the block.
BC football coach Jeff Hapley sitting in the student section, part of this sellout crowd of over 8,000. They are soaking up the atmosphere. It's as loud as we've heard in many years in Chestnut Hill. Jaden Zachary driving, good pass, and Brevin Galloway, the beneficiary.
All set up by Jaden Zachary again. He's been able to get into the paint, and he's making good reads. That time, another bounce pass that led to an uncontested layup.
Trevor Keels, ultra aggressive on the offensive end. A.J. Griffin always seems to have the right answer.
Breakdown in the scouting report. That guy's 50% from the three-point line. If you give him any airspace, he is going to make you pay.
He's the only Duke player in double figures with 10. Zachary with a counter punch for BC. Eagles shooting 50%. Banchero the take and the make.
That's just a tough matchup. Again, that's the reason why we have all these NBA scouts here. A 6'10 guy that can handle like a point, has the post moves. He does not need to settle in this game for jumpers.
Karnick to 3, and Keels the rebound. Shot selection poor that time?
That was a pretty decent look for Boston College. He's wide open.
Timeout Duke, and we will take a 30-second timeout. Come right back to Connie Forum.
Well, we're taking a look at one of the top draft prospects in this year's NBA draft, Banchero, showing off the handle, body control, and finish. He has very few holes in his game. As you look at what they're saying about him, I would say he's improved defensively. I think he's so versatile, and the way that Duke switches on their pick and rolls, he's able to cover really 1 through 5 on the court. Really, it's been phenomenal to watch him work.
I don't know about you. When I was at Ithaca College, a C+ I wasn't very happy about. I know you at BC didn't get many C+s, but what do you think about that defense grade?
Well, I think the biggest thing for him is he struggled shooting the ball as of late. I think to close this half out, if I'm Duke, I'm going right back to him, let him get the ball in the post.
Banchero again. Oh, my goodness. Mark Williams. The slam after a terrific feed by Paolo Banchero. Largest lead of the game for Duke to pull up by Galloway, and halftime hits Chestnut Hill. Mark Williams, thunderous. Malcolm Huckabee.
Excellent read by Paolo Banchero. You have to help. Unselfish play that time by Duke, and Mark Williams with the finish.
And Duke closes the half on an 11-4 run. Kelsey Riggs in the game. Coming up next on ACC Network. We welcome you to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Subway. Coach K's final game at Chestnut Hill. Earl Grant in his first year at the Hill, and BC looking good early, Malcolm Huckabee.
Well, they got in transition, off some turnovers, but the problem, A.J. Griffin, they must find him on the three-point line. Excellent spacing by Duke.
And moments ago, we had a chance to speak with Associate Head Coach of Duke, John Shire. John, you trailed BC early, but then you made the necessary adjustments. What did you do to build a 9-point lead?
Well, finally we got some stops in a row. You know, our pick and roll defense wasn't what we wanted it to be, but then we made we picked it up, got some stops, and then obviously Paulo finishing strong in the end. Passing to Mark was big.
All right, John Shire, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thanks, guys.
And now for tonight's game refresh, brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Well, if you take a look at the numbers right here for Boston College, I think the problem for them, Banchero and Griffin got going late in that first half. James Karnick had it going early, but if you look at, I think, the problem area, Boston College, Duke had 9 points off of turnovers and also had 10 second chance points. Defensive rebounding and then cut down on the live ball turnovers. That's going to be key for Boston College in the second half.
Overall, controlling the tempo and the pace of the game. You told me before the game, BC needs to do that. They have to neutralize the speed and athleticism. It's a 9-point lead for Duke. Did they do enough in the first half to at least stabilize Duke's offense?
Well, I think the problem right now, the matchup, Banchero, right now, I think he has a clear size advantage over DeMar Langford. I'm going right back to him in the post, let him go to work.
Here comes Paulo Banchero. Jeremy Roach for three. Wendell Moore and the dunk again. Another miss by Williams, excuse me. Our view is obscured. And Mekhi Ashton Langford attempts the layup off the line. Brevin Galloway did not start the game, starting the second half. Zachary the lob for Karnick and the double team. And the three and the miss by Jaden Zachary. So the first 45 seconds of disjointed offense.
If Boston College has any chance of pulling off the upset, they're going to have to knock down those open shots, in particular threes. Right now, they have not made a three in this game.
A.J. Griffin will make a living in the corners. Coach K wants to space the floor more effectively for him. Mekhi Ashton Langford, one of the more improved players in the league. He's shooting 41%. He launches a three. He's 31% from distance, Malcolm. That's the first three of the game for BC. The Eagles average 6 per game. Deep three, Wendell Moore Jr. How do you like that?
Well, that's poor ball screen defense that time by Boston College. You have to hedge and show. That time they left him wide open. That's just too easy. Excellent execution offensively by Duke.
Duke has made 4 threes, 2 of them by Wendell Moore. Jaden Zachary trying to take A.J. Griffin, and Jamie Lucky calls a foul.
This right here, a really difficult three over Mark Williams. That's a 7-footer that he's able to hit a step-back jumper on, and that's Boston College's first three of the game.
First foul on A.J. Griffin. Mekhi Ashton Langford feeling confident, but the rebound engulfed by Banchero. The break for Wendell Moore Jr., and Brevin Galloway fouls him. Good decision by Galloway.
Well, that right there, and certainly excellent transition pass this time right here. And yeah, again, he had no, that was going to be a easy deuce if he did not. But the heads up play by Banchero off the rebound. That's a beautiful outlet pass.
Wendell Moore Jr. 74% at the line. He has 7 points. Of course, coming back from the devastating, potentially devastating flagrant foul 2 on David Collins of Clemson. The shot heard around the world, seen by many on social media, and seen live by many as well on the ACC network. And Coach K saying he loved the job that Brad Brownell did to help neutralize the situation. James Karnick going baseline. As the Eagles now trail by 11, largest lead of the game for Duke. Zachary to trigger. Finds Galloway. The College of Charleston transfer with the easy lay-in. Earl Grant says he gives Brevin Galloway the green light. But to whom much is given, he told me, much is expected. Roach to Banchero. That was ugly for Paulo. Here comes Mekhi Ashton Langford in transition. And he draws the foul. We are excited about this Monday night. The tournament, a history of ACC men's basketball, continues on ACC Network with episode 3 that highlights 1966 to 1972 at 9 Eastern. That's followed by episode 4 that breaks down 1973 and 1974. New episodes of the 10-part documentary are available every Monday at 9 and 10 Eastern through March 7th. You can always watch past episodes on the ESPN app. It is a fabulous feature on ACC Network, and certainly a pleasure to bring it to you. Outstanding work done by many. Don't miss it on Monday night. Wendell Moore Jr. against Jaden Zachary in a reach-in. Foul on Mekhi Ashton Langford. First on the graduate student from Worcester, Mass, by way of Providence College. Moore looks for Williams. Now he finds an open three for Roach. And the putback by Paolo Banchero.
Well, that continues to be the problem matchup for Boston College. That time Banchero on the offensive glass. DeMar Langford giving up a lot of size in that matchup.
12-7 for the Wooden Award candidate, the freshman from Seattle. Zachary too hard, kept alive by James Karnick, who was hot early. He's been silenced though, and Paolo Banchero, this is a perfect attempt for him.
Yeah, great boxing out that time on the offensive side, getting prepared for the offensive rebound putback and showing off the athleticism.
Kara against DeMar Langford. Moore tries to drive. Roach punched away in the lane. Quick hands by the Eagles. Here comes Mekhi Ashton Langford. Swings it to Brevin Galloway. Banchero swallows the rebound. Optimal performance, BC offensively, 8 to 9 3-pointers per game. And we welcome you to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Subway. Jason Tatum in the house watching his Duke Blue Devils and enjoying some popcorn. And yep, you know what? Deuce Tatum, he's 4 years old, frequent visitor to TD Garden watching his dad play. And I think that's pretty appropriate for him.
Hey, it's never too early to start recruiting, I guess. I'd say, though, he might be the youngest person offered a scholarship on the clipboard.
Mark Williams at the line. So Duke up to 12 points. And Williams has been a bit methodical in this one, Malcolm. He was your spotlight player, but...
Well, I think the problem for Boston College, although Williams has not had a huge offensive game, that's really not what they rely on him for. He's the anchor of their D. But Banchero's doing a nice job. They're getting him isolated in the pinch post area, and then they're playing through him. He's made some nice reads. When he's not been able to score for himself, he set his teammates up.
Largest lead of the game for the 7th-ranked Blue Devils. Mekhi Ashton Langford the blow-by. Good ball fake by Ashton Langford. Keels. Oh, he'll counter punch. What a move on the baseline.
Well, since he's come back from the calf injury, he has been playing really well for Duke, coming off a monster game at Clemson, where he shot the ball really well from the perimeter.
Coach K said he was very happy with his communication skills on Thursday night at Clemson. What did he mean by that?
Well, he was communicating defensively and then what they needed to do offensively, taking on that leadership role.
DeMar Langford ran into Mark Williams. Candidate for Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. Keels, look out. The Blue Devils are red hot. Their largest lead at 15.
A danger zone for Boston College, and Earl Grant has seen enough. He's going to get a timeout. Unselfish play by Duke. They are rolling right now. Keels with the beautiful pass. The bench is loving it. Duke up big. Duke with the 51-36 lead, and Trevor Keels continues to play well for Duke right here. Dribble drive with the finish. His last 3 games, he's been averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, but I've been more impressed with his decision making, setting his teammates up for some quality looks, unselfish play that time, causing Earl Grant to call the timeout. And John, as you take a look as his NBA draft prospect, shooting, I think that was one of the things that was a concern coming in. After watching him light it up against Clemson, I'd say he's starting to answer a lot of those questions.
I don't think shooting's a concern at the moment, as there's a block by Mark Williams, who averages 3 blocks per game, and now a takeaway by Jaden Zachary on Keels. And he blows the lay-in. Here comes A.J. Griffin, a pull-up. Duke having its way in the second half.
And Mark Williams, again, little things, coming up with an extra possession for his team.
Blocked by Mekhi Ashton Langford, a good hustle. It's BC ball.
Well, Earl Grant called Mekhi Ashton Langford a warrior. Said he has played hard every day. Excellent recovery that time, knowing the scouting report. A.J. Griffin, one of the better shooters in college. Get out, close out, come up with the block, and then the turnover.
He has 8 points and 6 rebounds. Think back to the game he had against Pitt a couple weeks ago. BC beat the Panthers 23-3, 4 assists and 3 steals. He did it all. Karnick the take and the dunk. The big fella has 14. You called it. BC has success. James Karnick plays well, specifically in the ACC. Gianni Thompson, a freshman, against Wendell Moore. Deep 3 by Keels, and Thompson engulfs the board.
That was the best defensive possession of the game for Boston College. Closeouts and then contested 3.
Lamar Langford strong towards the rack, and he gets hit in the face as he's down.
Now, I'm not sure if they're calling. Okay, again, looks like Williams going up for the block. So it looks like it's just going to be a common foul, but I think because there was contact to his head, they're going to go take a look at it. And
he ran into the elbow of Mark Williams. That's his second foul, but they will take a look, and it's only Jamie Lucky and Mark Schnurr. Jerry Heater is not here due to flu-like symptoms. That happened right before the game. He wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good windup again right there. Now again, it's a basketball play. Now the interpretation of the rule, I think it's all about intent, and is he making a play on the ball? Right here again, Mark Williams, again, that's a pretty good windup, but it's certainly a play on the ball. It's going to come down to the referee's interpretation of what that is, but again, anytime there's contact to the head, they're going to go take a look at it.
Which way are you leaning?
I mean, there's a long discussion, so they take this long, I'm saying it's probably not going to work out pretty good
like
for Duke.
If the jury comes back quickly,
yeah,
you know, it wasn't that easy, or it was easy. There's DeMar Langford with athletic trainer Nick Gallo. It is a flagrant 1 foul against Mark Williams, as Malcolm Huckabee will get an explanation from Mark Schnurr. We'll take another look. As Mark Schnurr just explained to Malcolm Huckabee, it does not matter about the intent. It's a hit to the head, so that's why it's a flagrant 1.
And that's the thing. He said, look, regardless of the intent, it was unnecessary. And that's the reason why they ruled it a F1. And again, it was a pretty good whack. And I think that's probably the right call. They're saying it probably was not unnecessary. He wound up pretty good. Not sure he needed to do it in that situation.
Wednesday night, after day 1 of the ACC Swim and Dive Championships, we'll have men's basketball. Armando Bacot and the Tar Heels host Pitt at the Dean Smith Center. This one starts at 8 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. So DeMar Langford shakes it off and nails it. They'll have another one after the flagrant one, and BC gets possession of the ball.
Well, John, the one thing BC has done really all night, they have challenged, in particular Williams. We've talked about his shot blocking. They've gotten right into his chest and attacked him. They have not tried to fade away. They've challenged him every time at the rim.
Jaden Zachary to inbound for James Carnick, who has a nice line going with 14 points. Gianni Thompson out of Brimmer and May School, 3 miles down the road from BC's campus. DeMar Langford, and he blows by. He's aggressive, isn't he?
He is strong, and he is built like A.J. Griffin. Great body control, and that's a big boy move by DeMar Langford.
Griffin to Roach. Steal by DeMar Langford to his brother Mekhi Ashton Langford. Again towards the hoop. Theo John tied him up, but a foul on the Marquette transfer. So the Eagles with some revitalization at Conte Forum, down by 9.
Duke still with a 51-42 lead, but DeMar Langford Jr. has been solid for Boston College. Physical game, which Duke knew coming into this one. Right here, DeMar Langford showing off the body control. That time taking a hit. Individual matchup against A.J. Griffin. He wins that battle, and then the body control again, taking the hit. It's been that type of night. He's earned all 10 of his points versus Duke.
And you know what? He also is an Ironman. He plays 35 minutes a game. That's one of the top numbers in the ACC. And sparkling numbers his last 3, 87% of the team minutes. That was like you back in the day.
Well, he's got some great, he's got a great frame, NBA body. He's really drawn a couple of matchups tonight, in particular Banchero. He's given up a lot of height, but he's tried to be physical with Paolo Banchero to push him out of the paint, but he and A.J. Griffin have a nice little individual battle going on.
Foul before the timeout on Theo John, his second. I've not seen Bates Jones and Joey Baker thus far, part of Mike Krzyzewski's bench. Bates Jones, the Davidson transfer, the brother of New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. Keels draws contact. That foul is on James Carnick. First on Carnick, so that's good news for the Eagles. They were worried about him getting in foul trouble with the absence of Quentin Post due to COVID protocol.
Yeah, that was a concern when we spoke with Earl Grant. And obviously they found out really today that Quentin Post was not going to be able to go due to COVID protocol. Boston College's 7-footer, so Carnick was going to play heavy minutes in this game, and against Mark Williams in particular, the way he's been dominating in the paint, they were concerned about him getting into foul trouble.
First 2 misses of the game for Duke. Out of bounds. Good hustle by Zachary, but out of bounds off of BC. A revelatory game for Trevor Keels against Clemson on Thursday night. 25 points, career high 11 rebounds, no turnovers in 30 minutes.
I think the key thing is you hit it, no turnovers.
Roach rattles it out. Jaden Zachary, his point guard counterpart. DeMar Langford, the hot hand, and the one-hand slam attempt. Boy, he took off from downtown Boston.
Well, aggressive drives. I said this in the first half. If you're going to drive against Duke, you better be going to dunk. Soft floaters are not going to work. Go in and try to take off the rim. DeMar Langford, we talked about his athleticism. He's probably Boston College's best athlete, and that's how you drive against this very good Duke defense.
Another foul on Theo John, his third. Also a good citizen. He helped out our cameraman, Joe, underneath the basket.
That's the least he can do, that big frame knocking it over. But right now, Boston College Although they've struggled shooting the ball from the three-point line, I think the big thing they've done, limited the live ball turnovers, and then they've done a decent job on the defensive glass.
BC hanging around. Duke led by as many as 15. It's an 8-0 Eagles run.
Well, if I'm Duke, I'm trying to get Banchero a touch. They've been posting him at the foul line area and then letting him go right here. And then they're isolating.
Banchero, so effective with both hands.
And that's just beautiful offense right there. Again, ISO, pro-style offense right there. Go to your matchup. It's a favorable one for a guy that's going to be playing for a big paycheck. Force Boston College to help.
The skill is just supreme for Paolo Banchero, the freshman from O'Day High School in Seattle. Gianni Thompson gets cut off on the baseline. Kai Ashton Langford. Thompson coming from out of nowhere to try to corral the loose ball rebound.
Well, this is the matchup and why he is a matchup nightmare. The 6'10", little jab, and then go finish with the left. Coach K said, look, he wanted more physicality and less finesse with Banchero, and he has answered tonight as you take a look at his personal bio.
A long jumper for 4 years and then opting out of his senior year of high school, and many NBA scouts in attendance. Brad Stevens, director of basketball operations for the Celtics, is here. They won't get him. Celtics are not going to have that in their back pocket, but many other NBA teams in that draft lottery are certainly happy that Paolo Banchero might be there. And there's a three by Wendell Moore Jr., so the counterpunch game continues, Malcolm.
Well, Wendell Moore Jr. may not be their best player, but he might be their most important player. That leadership, he is the guy that when they need a play, he typically makes it, and he is the most experienced player on the team.
Pick and roll by Karnick as he attacks and ran right into Jeremy Roach, who's 6'1", and Karnick at 6'10". Do you like that play developing?
Well, it's excellent offense. This has been Boston College's bread and butter. Going back to the first half, DeMar Langford in particular has made some good reads, but that's pretty good position right there. Let's see. Again, we have the luxury of replay, but he was outside that restricted area.
Jamie Luckey and Mark Schnurr have done a terrific job. Two-man crew. One man down due to the absence of Jerry Heater. We hope he's feeling better. Banchero with his 8th double-double of the season, trying to build on it. And the tip-in. Trevor Keels capitalizing, 14-point Duke lead.
Well, that's the problem right there. They're giving up a lot of size. Boston College is going to have to make a decision. Do we double or maybe try to change up our defense? Because right now they're just isolating and putting Banchero in the block.
Skipping a pass, Ashton Langford denying it, pushed out of bounds by Keels. But Paolo Banchero, he maneuvers from every angle.
Well, Coach K, when I asked him about his offense, he's like, look, people know we play man-to-man. They couldn't tell us nobody could tell us, what we've been doing offensively. We just try to change it up and fit it to our players. Right now, he knows he has great one-on-one players, and a guy like Banchero, they'll just isolate him, break the play off, and let him go to work.
I can tell you that Duke is shooting 47%, 37.5% from three. Kai Ashton Langford comes up with it to Thompson. Here comes Zachary for the three. BC has only had 1 3 in 9 attempts.
You can't ask for a better look. Jaden Zachary, pretty good look that time.
Banchero, the up fake on Thompson. Tough call for the freshman.
You got to double. It's time to double right now. I mean, again, they're just isolating him, let him go, either double or go to zone. You can't stay man-to-man in that matchup right there.
Duke riding another 9-0 run, and the block by John. Outstanding defense from the Marquette transfer, who put in 87 games of starting work for Marquette before transferring to Duke. The rich get richer. Roach on the baseline. Theo John on James Karnick. Get out of the kitchen, says Theo John. It's a 16-point Duke lead.
Well, Duke's Paolo Banchero having a solid night for Duke. Isolation at the top of the key, finished with the left. Right here on the steal, showing off the hops. He had a complete game going. It's been a problem matchup for Boston College. On their last possession, they came over and tried to double, but he has been dominant in the second half. 16 points on an efficient 7-13.
And what a list that is in the decorated history of Duke basketball. Heyman, Brand, Irving, and Williamson. It's really just one word, though, Zion. That's all you need to say.
And I think, he could be potentially, you never know, but one or two in the upcoming draft. I think one of the things we spoke with Coach K about, he hasn't shot the ball as well or consistently from the perimeter, but everything else is there. I think the decision-making, to me, is what really has separated him. He can make passes, outlets, or when he breaks you down off the bounce and then kicking out to shooters.
One of 20 finalists for the Wooden Award as the premier player in college basketball, the only ACC finalist. We're down to 20 on that list, and there's a reason why ACC Freshman of the Week 6 times already for Paolo Banchero. I think it's pretty universal that Banchero, Chet Holmgren, and Jabari Smith, somewhere in that order, 1, 2, 3 in the NBA draft.
I would agree with that. On the other end right now, Boston College trailing 62-44. If they're going to make another run, it's going to start here. They need to have a good offensive possession, and they're going to have to start trying to string together some defensive stops.
Justin Vanderbond, an inexperienced big for the Eagles, playing through the absence of Quentin Post. And the conversion by Jaden Zachary. You're impressed with his game.
He's been impressive all night, driving in the lane like that. That time he finished for himself. He also has set his teammates up for some quality looks. I think on the other end, I'm looking to see the adjustment Boston College makes out of man-to-man. Do they leave Banchero one-on-one in the post?
Banchero on DeMar Langford. The three by Keels is good. Trevor Keels in rhythm in the second half, along with the rest of the Blue Devils. They have been dominant.
He's coming off a game where he tied his career high, 25 points, and a win on the road versus Clemson. And that's just excellent ball movement, playing through Banchero, extra pass.
Vanderbond did not get his feet set on the baseline. It was a good pass, but he couldn't knock it down, and that's where you want to see the big fella dunk it, isn't it?
Well, I think right now fatigue setting in. We talked about it for Duke, but I think right now Boston College looking a little fatigued.
Brevin Galloway, what a block by John and Banchero. Superb defense by the Blue Devils. Vanderbond, the pull-up jumper. Duke has 5 blocks. They average more than 6 per game.
That's excellent offense, though, by Boston College. After the block, they get the recovery. And then Vanderbond stepping up and knocking down a foul line jumper.
Vanderbond with his 3rd bucket of the season. Banchero's 3, no. And DeMar Langford with a loose ball. Here comes Brevin Galloway from Newbury Street in Boston. Banchero the rebound. And Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout. Good timeout by Duke.
Well, again, Coach K has talked about the fatigue. Right now, though, they still are on top, 65-48. We'll step away.
We have another great women's college basketball doubleheader on Thursday night on ACCN and the ESPN app. It all starts with Pitt Miami at 6 Eastern, and then a huge matchup for the second game between number 18 Notre Dame and number 11 Georgia Tech. Both are 9-3 in the conference. They trail 12-1 NC State and 11-1 Louisville. Should be a fantastic game. There's members of the BC women's basketball squad, Cameron Schwartz and company. Taylor Soule there as well, as they had a fantastic atmosphere here a couple nights ago when they played NC State. BC women's basketball coach Joanna Bernabé-McNamee thanking the fans and the student body for coming out and helping their cause as they took number 5 NC State to overtime. But there's Mark Williams. If he can perfect that part of his game, Malcolm, look out.
Yeah, player development, again, for me, from last year to this year, I spoke with John Shire about his improvement. He has put in the work, that time showing off the touch with the jumper. He's just one of the most improved players in college.
Karnick rolls down the lane, industrious. Kanye Jones, the freshman from Orlando. Frustration is set in for BC.
Well, they're getting good looks. You can't ask for a better look. That time, Karnick not able to finish. Gets his own rebound. They make some extra passes. But on the other side, Duke has executed. Right here, Wendell Moore talking about his leadership. Karnick not getting out on Williams. And he knocks down the jumper. And as you take a look at his NBA draft prospect length, off the charts, rim protector, he is one of the best rebounding. I think, though, the other added thing to his game, ball screen coverage. He's able to switch 1 through 5, and he is a guy that probably would be playing against or with that guy right there, Jason Tatum.
The Celtics hope he's playing with Jason Tatum.
His improvement all around has been impressive.
Largest lead for Duke. Joey Baker checking in for Trevor Keels as Jason Tatum looks on. He's headed to the All-Star game. DeMar Langford, the turnaround from the elbow. Well done by the rugged sophomore from Worcester.
I've been impressed with his game. You're right. Physical guard, excellent mid-range game, and his ability to take hits and finish through contact. He has been just as impressive as some of the guys on the other side. Really had a solid night so far for Boston College.
Baker, known for his three-point shooting, but the drive and the putback. A plethora of weapons for Duke. With 5-2 on the road, 2-0 at neutral sites. The 4 losses, something that jumped out at you by a combined 9 points. Karnick, the hook. One of 2 in double figures for the Eagles, joining DeMar Langford's 14. Karnick with 16. Bates Jones, the Davidson transfer, follows up his miss. Jones just 2 points per game in 6.5 minutes. Four to shoot for A.J. Griffin. And it will be BC ball after this timeout. Duke well on its way to win number 21 in Chestnut Hill. ACC Network Basketball is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway. Beautiful sights around this picturesque campus in Chestnut Hill. DeMar Langford, part of BC's attack with Quentin Post and TJ Bickerstaff out. Post didn't play at all due to COVID protocol. Bickerstaff left with a calf injury. He hasn't played in the second half.
Yeah, and that really hurt Boston College. TJ Bickerstaff leads Boston College in rebounding. I think the biggest thing, though, size. He would have been the matchup on Banchero. Now that slides over DeMar Langford to Banchero. Advantage Duke. Really short staff for Boston College. It was going to be an uphill battle anyway, but without your 2 biggest players, really, they have struggled. on the defensive glass.
Plus 14 advantage on the glass for Duke. Their season average plus 4.5 against the opposition. See Notre Dame and Clemson coming up next from Little John Coliseum. David Collins of Clemson suspended by the ACC after the flagrant 2 foul against Duke's Wendell Moore Jr. on Thursday night. He is not playing tonight. Jay Alter and Paul Biancardi standing by to bring you that one. Aggressiveness by James Carnick got tied up by Bates Jones and a jump ball. Carnick's given BC a lift.
Well, he really has. He's had a solid night. Him and Langford are the only 2 players for Boston College in double digits. Carnick with 16, Langford with 14. Now make that 16 off the beautiful backdoor cut.
His career high is 20, set against Holy Cross earlier this year. Eagles 3-7 in their last 10, averaging just 63 points per game. A blow-by attempt by Roach, but he got blocked by Carnick. Eagles fighting to the very end. And this is what Earl Grant likes. He loves the team's attitude. He says this is part of their cultural process.
And he said, look, we're trying to create habits, winning habits. And part of that, he said, is playing to the zeros. That's what he's looking for, to see if guys are going to continue to compete. Even if you're down, he said, that's the thing that I'm looking for and trying to create those type attitudes.
Carnick, the spin and the dunk. Outstanding dunk by James Carnick, and an equally pretty move past the defender.
Well, he and DeMar Langford have been the bright spots for Boston College. Beautiful spin move by Carnick, and then the screen.
Carnick has 18. He's 9 for 16 from the field. 8 rebounds for the Lehigh transfer. He had 0 points against Syracuse in the Eagles' 9-point loss Tuesday night. Full court pressure. They pick him up the full 94 feet. Foul on BC. Tonight at 9 Eastern, after a full day of basketball, the men's Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every men's game. A look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. And Thursday night at 10 Eastern, after our women's basketball doubleheader, the women's Nothing But Net crew will do the same on the women's side. That's coverage you can only find in one place, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Foul on Blake's, just off Coach K's bench. His second in less than a minute with 91 seconds remaining. And Earl Grant continuing to exhort his team. Duke's upcoming schedule. It's been a rigorous stretch. 4 games in 8 days. They didn't arrive in Boston until 3 a.m. on Friday morning. And then Wake Forest, a big one coming up Tuesday night on ESPN. And those are showdowns, all of them. Tough customers coming up.
Yeah, and really not much separation at the top. Huge games. In particular, you look at that Virginia game on the road. I think that's the key thing on the road. Certainly they're going to have some tests coming up, but I think Coach K has to be pleased with how his team has performed in this 8-day stretch.
Our colleague Jay Billis mentioned the other night he thinks Duke is one of about 8 teams that has a real quality chance to win the national championship. Do you agree?
I would agree. I think, again, shooting, when you have guys that are playmakers like Banchero, you have guys like Keels, you have guys like A.J. Griffin that can just go get you a bucket, to go along with one of the premier rim protectors. They're going to be a very difficult out because of their defense. I think that's the big thing for them.
Wendell Moore Jr. rims it out, just beating the shot clock. I would agree with you. Their defense will lead to their offense. So many options. 4 likely first-round picks on the floor at one time. maybe even 5. Carnett takes it away. He's giving BC maximum effort. H. Jones called for the foul, but our ACC standings, parity strikes around college basketball. Notre Dame coming up next on ACC Network. Miami, you like them very much. North Carolina still, oh, by the way, involved. Wake Forest has been terrific as well.
There's not much separation, very little room for margin. And you take a look at the losses that Duke has had. We referenced it earlier. Their 4 losses, a total of 9 points in their losses. In conference, you take a look, it's even slighter margin of error for them. So again, they've lost some really close games. I think they will learn from them, but nonetheless, they got a tough stretch coming up.
Report Duke with their close losses. As you mentioned, that heartbreaker to Virginia. Reese Beekman hit the game-winning 3 in the corner on a defensive breakdown. And report out today that Dawson Garcia will miss the rest of the season for North Carolina due to family issues, as he has left the team. And Hubert Davis said that was the right call, and he fully supports Dawson Garcia's decision. So we wish him nothing but the best for the rest of the year and beyond, for that matter. But BC at Notre Dame on ESPN2 on Wednesday night, that will be a difficult task. So the Eagles, as Earl Grant always tells us, we just need to mature in so many areas.
Yeah, and again, it's part of the building process. Look, this is year 1 for Earl Grant, but he did tell us he is impressed with how his guys have continued to battle through adversity. Right now, this could have easily, against a really talented Duke team, they could have folded in when Duke went on that run. They fought to try to get this thing back, and that's what Earl Grant said he is looking for. And certainly year 1, he has to be pleased with how his guys have responded.
Quinn Pemberton off the bench. And another turnover for BC. And it's up to Trevor Keels to hear this predominantly Duke crowd at Chestnut Hill, a sellout of over 8,000 as they salute the Hall of Fame coach, all-time winningest coach in college basketball history, Mike Krzyzewski, who's now 11-2 at Connie Forum, concluding his career 25-3 overall against the Eagles. Malcolm Huckabee, your final thought.
They took care of business. Paolo Banchero showed why he's going to be one of the top picks in the NBA draft.
For Malcolm Huckabee, I'm Chami DePerel saying good night from Chestnut Hill. Now let's go to Clemson and Notre Dame, and Clemson with Jay Alter and Paul Biancardi.